What's up, y'all? What's up? This Rom coming back at you with yet another couch video. Sex life uh, illustrates the select world. Sex life. That serious sex life I talked about yesterday in the car video. Oh yeah, I was really looking at it again, and not physically like watching the whole series again, but as I was watching it and really reflecting on it, it reflects the world of the select. Now, for those who actually read my book, y'all know I break the select and non-select down into further categories. Indeed, I could break each category. I could break it down into two categories in each side, and then even those categories break them down into like 12 categories. You can break it down. So basically, what I'm presenting are more like general groups. But for purposes of this, I'm just going to talk about the select side because there were two types of select men in that thing. Two types of select men because people who read my book know I talk about Mr. Goodbar and the masked man. Now, the masked man, he got everything look good on the surface. I mean, the dude will physically be handsome, good body build, good height, all of that stuff that women say they want, they put on paper they want. Also, money and status, everything going on. If you look at the Sex Life series, you look at the Cooper, the man Cooper. I mean, he had it all. And in fact, his own wife, even though she was pining for the other guy, and I'm gonna get into that in a second, she would say her husband is perfect, perfect, perfect. Only thing was he wasn't rocking her world in the bedroom. That was it. That was it. See, the thing with the masked man, he got everything on the surface, but he'll lack something underneath that, the woman don't necessarily want. She'll get with him because of that surface. He's the one who looks good on paper, but he still isn't like the man in the bedroom. He might be decent or something, decent enough. And I mean, when I say he got everything the woman wants, she'll have his baby too. Yeah, like I said, he'll have it. Like you get some cats thinking if they just get some money or something, they just gonna get the women. No, you gotta have to be a masked man. Still select. You have to have like the physical appearance or whatever she's looking for. Basically, you gotta be good on paper. That's basically it. And then they showed Cooper, but then they showed the other guy, Brad. Now he was more the Mr. Goodbar. His main thing was sex. Even though he had money, probably had more money than Cooper. But, the main character, Billy, wasn't getting with him for his money. That wasn't a major benefit for her. Her benefit was he was rocking her world. He would have sex with her in different places. They would play role playing games. Now, to give her here's a spoiler real quick, there was one time they went out to a thing and she was flirting with another man. He was flirting with another woman. Then she left the man, went out into the stairwell. He followed her and they had sex right out in the stairwell. They would have sex in crazy places and stuff. This dude fingered her in a elevator, but that's some Mr. Goodbar stuff. That's his main calling card. And see, what this thing did was show that world. That's the main thing this thing did. It showed that world because I always talk about select and non-select. And I've also said a few times, I did a couple videos on it. I said these are two different worlds. These are two different worlds. In fact, I got a video coming either tomorrow or Thursday talking about that. But that's the thing. And this reflected it perfectly. I was like, man, did they read my book? But then again, women know this anyway. Women know this. They know they separate men into categories. And even with the select even within the select group, they ain't all equal. They'll look at Mr. Goodbar for that sex thing, but not necessarily a good husband because Mr. Goodbar is the bad boy. He's kind of volatile and everything. He might have money, he might have all this other stuff, but he ain't good husband material. At best he might be a baby daddy. Unless he change up real well, really change up. He ain't the type that's, going to be that good papa. Meanwhile, the masked man, hey, that's the family man, that's the husband and stuff. That's the man that a woman would take home to her parents, that's the man that her friends was like, oh yeah, he got something going on. But usually, behind closed doors, or he got something else that he's hiding. But the thing with this thing, it reflected it perfectly. I was like, wow. And one of the reasons I even thought about that, because I had a comment on my video when I did the car video on it, and someone said they have been talking about this on Twitter, and a lot of guys were saying this is unrealistic. It's only unrealistic for someone who's non-select. This is normal. This is normal. This is how women do. This is how they pick. And even within the select, there's some issues. It's rare that that guy has everything, exactly everything. He might have most of one, but he might be lacking that one thing, but the woman wants that one thing. And if you watch the final episode, the characters actually broke it down. I was like, And I'm starting to wonder now, because the main character was a psychology student. I wonder if whoever wrote it, I need to check on it, see if that person who wrote it was into psychology. There's some deep shit here. There's some deep shit, but it's the world I've always talked about. It's that select world, because even in how they dealt with women, even in how they dealt with women, right? The whole thing was that when they dealt with the women, they wasn't like, oh, let me just approach. Even though Cooper had approached Billy, it wasn't on no corny, it wasn't like blatant and stuff, And he even had said, I came over here, asked for directions, because, he could ask for directions like from somebody else, but she was more attractive, But women are usually throwing it at him. That's one thing this series showed, because even Cooper, yeah, he was the masked man, the husband type, but he had 3 different women throwing some shit at him, And there's one scene, I ain't going to spoil the one scene, I'll just say it happened at a sex party. Anybody who actually saw that, just say, yeah, you saw the sex party and stuff. Don't spoil it for anybody. Let everybody else watch it, right? But the women were throwing it at him. When you look at the other guy, right? If you throw it at the other guy, and I keep having something that pop up here, if you see my finger and stuff, right? Quick, there was some technical difficulties, but anyway, if you look at the other guy, Brad, shoot, he wasn't really doing anything. Women were tossing it at him, and that's one thing in the select world. The select world, they don't do a lot of work or anything, because they are select. See, women, and especially women, when they want something, they will throw it at the men that they wanted at. So that's the key, y'all. That's just understand that whole thing. Just understand that whole thing. Like, check out that series. Like, you know what? I would say this. Watch it definitely for entertainment. But then the second time, watch it again if you really want to understand the select and non-select, and how women really see stuff, because they gave so many gems in there. It's scary. It's really scary. They were telling their game and everything. So I want guys to understand that, all right? I want guys to understand that. So anyway, yeah, I might have to get a new phone. Anyway, y'all, that's all I got for today, and I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.